not there if the 100 pages about Judaism and Christianity are deleted. And what goes back to when we were trying to purchase this copy of this textbook online, it wasn't available. Is that because of the defect, or is this selective editing that is now being blamed on some defect now that parents are wising up to what is being taught to their students and what's in their history books? Again, folks, we are focusing in on a situation involving Islamic, really, indoctrination in America's public schools, starting at 6th, 7th grade. We're talking very early. And reciting Islamic prayers, the conversion prayer, the Shahada in class. And we are standing up to this. We're going to be filing a demand letter, an open records request as well to get to the bottom of what exactly is going on in these schools. And it looks like that'll be expanding not just in Tennessee, but around the country. And with this new report out of Florida, we'll take your phone calls on it, 1-800-684-3110. Before we do, I want to bring Dan Bennett into the discussion. Dan, right now there are pieces of pro-life legislation moving through Congress, 2 in the House, 1 in the Senate next week. Explain them to people.
Yeah, the votes in the House, Jordan, are actually going to be happening here momentarily in the House of Representatives. 2 major pieces of pro-life legislation that we at the ACLJ have been supporting and calling for. The first, our listeners are going to be very familiar with. It's H.R. 3134 by Congresswoman Diane Black from Tennessee. That would defund Planned Parenthood of all of their federal funding, all $528 million, including the more than $400 million that flows through Medicaid. The second piece is H.R. 3504, the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. It's a bill by Trent Franks out of Arizona that says, listen, if a child survives an attempt to abort them, if they are sitting there on the delivery table alive, that child must be provided the same care as if that child had been wanted and had been delivered normally. So both of those votes are going to happen momentarily in the House of Representatives. And then, Jordan, on Tuesday morning, probably fairly early in the morning, there's going to be the vote on Senator Lindsey Graham's Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act. That is another bill that our listeners know about. It's a 5-month ban on abortions. It has already passed the House. So if it can pass the Senate, this is a bill that can land on the president's desk.
Folks, a lot to work on when it comes to the pro-life issues. We'll be updating you at ACLJ.org and on this radio broadcast as well. But make sure to stay tuned to ACLJ.org this afternoon as these votes are set to occur. We were also focusing in, of course, on this Islamic indoctrination that's being more exposed every day. Now out of Florida, 10th grade, their books, 100 pages. They're calling it a defect. 100 pages are gone. 100 pages gone. And what did those pages include? Those pages included the Judaism and Christianity portions of the class. Do you believe that's a defect, folks? Or do you think it's selective editing being blamed on a defect now that these students and their parents are starting to actually take a look into what's in these textbooks? Now, in Tennessee, they're saying, well, we get into Christianity and Judaism in 6th grade, so we focus on Islam in 7th grade. I don't know if you remember. It's pretty tough for me. Back that long ago, how young you are, with a summer break in between, to try and put that all together is fairly complicated at a middle school level. So what you learned in 6th grade that you're supposed to be taking all that knowledge over after a 3-month summer into 7th grade, and if even that's the case. So we're doing the research into those books, but again, it's why you don't see much of all Christianity mentioned in this 7th grade the curriculum that they've set up at this school. And we're going to try to figure out how, we announced yesterday the State Board of Education is now looking into this early, 2 years earlier than expected, under a new review process that will begin in January. We want you to be part of our petition to stop Islamic indoctrination in school. We have 174,609 people. That's just online. So go to ACLJ.org right now and sign this petition. Let's get it up to 175,000 before the end of this break. That's a big goal, folks. So we need you to get to ACLJ right now, ACLJ.org, and get us over 100.